What is up, everybody? We are back over here with the NFC North Roundtable to recap Week 10 of the NFL. Man, this was an interesting week. This was going to be an interesting week, specifically because of the Bears. Just to put it out there right away, it's because of the Bears. Lions had a ridiculous game. The Packers had a bye week, so now it's a little bit more exciting this week. Everybody's playing this weekend. We got a divisional game going on this upcoming weekend, and then the Vikings handled business. Sort of. They won. The Vikings won. So, man, I just brought everybody right in. Missed that part of the show. My bad. We're already here, though. Guys, I think we have the order halfway right. Let me fix that real quick.
There we go. Let's go.
Now we got it. But I'll start with Nick first, man. Nick, how you doing? Nick, the hair looks good, man. How you doing?
Appreciate that. Got a little haircut, but I needed to change something up because we're on a 3-game losing streak. But, God, this past week was bad, and I'm not looking forward to talking to it. But I am looking forward to talking about this upcoming weekend with Bears versus Packers.
Okay. Bass, how you doing, man?
Good. Bye week came at a perfect time. I think we're starting to get a little bit healthier. It was fun sitting back. I was actually just at a local bar sitting back watching those games, and I was watching like weird games happen. Obviously, the Vikings, Jags one was odd. The Bears, Patriots was odd. And then later in the night, the Lions, Texans also odd. I think every game was just odd. So it was a very interesting week just sitting back and watching that.
Yeah, that's good points, man. That does make it fun, though. That does make it fun. One bar. You guys got the win, man. How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel bad for anybody that wasn't a Jags and Vikings fan who actually had to watch that. But at the end of the day, it is a dub. Last time I was here, I know Lupagus filled in for me last week. I was on the bottom row, so I'm back up at least on the top row. So I'm feeling better about that. But Vikings got some work to do. They got plenty of work to do, but got the Titans this week. And good thing is we got the dub. That's all that matters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, before we get too far into this, man, we got to give our shout out, as usual, to BetUS. You see the thing at the top of the screen there that says powered by BetUS, because you can get a 150% deposit match on your first deposit with YouTube 150, 125% on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. We roll over to the website right now. All the marketing right now is going to the Fight Friday. Just a quick little side note. Who y'all got in the fight? I mean, that's what we should be talking about, to be honest. Who do you guys like? Bass, let's start with you.
Oh, man. I think we all – are you talking Tyson and Paul, right?
Yeah.
Just to make sure. Okay, I figured.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us would want Mike Tyson to win, but I feel like it's just like rigged. Like I feel like there's no way that we're gonna see Logan Paul lose. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not that. I don't invest too much of my time into it just because I feel like that's what they want you to do. But I'm a big supporter. I would love to see Mike Tyson win.
Yeah. I'm with you. One bar, you feel the same way?
I want Tyson to knock his. I want him to knock his head off. I want crazy Mike to come out. He's been too nice. He's been too lovey-dovey in these fights. I want him to come out and just do some crazy shit and put that dude on the ground.
Okay. And Nick, I know Nick's going for Jake Paul, man. He's a Jake Paul kind of guy.
What the heck does that mean? No, I want Mike Tyson. Okay. Get out of here.
Hey, man, look, nobody's running
because
with
the host,
Jake
he's
Paul.
already thinking like he knows me like that. No, you don't know me.
Well,
like
I thought
that.
I did. I miscalculated.
No,
Look, man, I'm fired up for what Bass said, man. It's going to be fun.
Win? Who do you want to win?
To be honest, I want to, honestly, man, I kind of want to see Jake Paul win. You know what I mean? Just because of what Bass said. If it's rigged, he'll probably win the fight. And I think it'd just be interesting. You know what I think is going to happen, though? I'm going to be honest. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think what's going to happen is this thing's going to go down to a decision. They're going to somehow call this thing a tie. I don't know. Or it'll be like very close. That way they have to run it back. Netflix 2.0, we got to make a little bit more money. I think that's how this is going to go down. I don't think this thing is going to end. I think we're going to a decision. But anyways, yeah, if you guys want to bet on that, YouTube 150, go over here to BetUS. Of course, we have the lines for next week that are already up. We'll take a look at those a little bit later. But with that, let's dive into some of the latest news, man, because we got a lot of things going on in the North, man. I'm seeing some heated exchanges. Xavier McKinney, DJ Moore's, a little bit of crap talk there, so we got to get into that if you guys did see that. But I want to start with one bar first here because, man, J.J. McCarthy, second surgery. I didn't even know if this was real, but then I saw your video posted on it. Can you tell the people what's going on with J.J. McCarthy?
Well, at first they came out and said it was Kevin Seifert from ESPN reported a surgery, and then they came back and said it was just an injection. So that made me feel better. I mean, as far as concern level, what the injection was, biologic, whatever it was, I'm not going to sit here and pretend. I've watched a lot of doctors break this down since then to try to set myself at ease, because when you see this soon after a surgery, it's like, what the hell's going on? We don't need this crap in our lives. Like, let's just do your rehab and get back on the field. Nobody was concerned. Everyone just like, hey, maybe it was a little too much too soon, whatever. The injection, if it would have been more of a surgery, I think I would have been freaking out a little bit more. we'll see what happens. In Vikings land, everybody's just going to the extreme and saying, "Oh God, he's never going to play a snap in the NFL." But I think what the doctors were saying, it all makes sense and it's fine. I mean, it wasn't like scheduled, which is a little concerning, but like 1 to 10 being concerned. As of now, I'm at like a 3. If this happens again in 2 weeks, it's gonna go a lot higher. But I think we can all just kind of calm down. Initially, I was just like, "You got to be kidding me," but after more info came out, it's. Sorry.
I saw the Kevin O'Connell clip, and then he, for at least the part that I saw, where he was like, it's kind of the same timeline. All right, so this isn't as bad. I first saw it, I was concerned too. It's like, is this a next year type of thing? I'll tell you this side note, I got my physical therapy shirt today, so I feel like maybe I brought this into existence. You know what I mean? It's a nice little blue shirt. Also, one bar, I got to ask you this, man, because I think that a lot of us believe this is very much so on the table, but Brian Flores, it sounds like he wants to be a new head coach if he gets the opportunity. Do you think that this is like, hey, we're prepared for the next thing here? Do you think that he's gone after this season?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to hire him. I mean, why haven't he? Did he even get an interview last year? I don't even think he did. No, he's not getting. I mean, last year he played his balls off with a horrible defense. I mean, this year he finally brought his own guys in, but he's still not getting any sniffs. I'll believe it when I see it. I think he absolutely deserves to be a head coach, and absolutely he wants to be a head coach. But I honestly, it's kind of sad with everything going on with him. Like, he deserves to do it. But I don't know if teams are going to touch him.
Okay. Hey, man, chat. We see y'all in here, man. Make sure you let us know who you're representing. We see you guys filling in. I can see the number moving. Let's go to Nick, man. Nick, this was the news. This was news we're all here for. You guys fired your offensive coordinator. Now, everybody's pointing blame on, is it the quarterback is the offensive coordinator? Now you got Thomas, right? It's Thomas stepping into the OC role there. So was this the right move? And just what's your initial reaction to what's going down?
It needed to happen. Nothing was working with Shane Waldron at this point. When they showed the clip of him laughing on the sidelines with Caleb Williams just looking dead straight onto the field, and Waldron's trying to like raise the mood, like your quarterback offensive coordinator connection just wasn't there. And then now that he's gone, players aren't afraid to say what they have to say. Keenan Allen comes out and says, "Listen, he was a nice guy. But he let things go off his back way too often. He didn't make adjustments. He didn't do anything that he should have been doing. He didn't listen to us." That was a bad sign. The DJ Moore comes out on the podium in front of all of Bears media and goes, "Yeah, no, if we had to make an adjustment, we'd have to wait till halftime." So if something happened after the first drive, you had to wait all the way till halftime to make an adjustment. Players have not been very holding back about how they feel about Shane Waldron. I mean, it doesn't sound like anyone had beef with him. They didn't like him because of his personality. They didn't like him because he was a coach. So it sounds like, nice guys usually lose anyway. So it sounds like Shane Waldron absolutely lost this one. And I'm excited for Thomas Brown, man. I mean, he has a very, very interesting resume. He worked his way up super quickly. He's only 38 years old. He's been an offensive coordinator one time at Carolina, but that 2023 Carolina's team was an absolute disaster just walking into it. Really good mindset, though. It's the players have already been behind him. DJ Moore has already been praising him. Cole Kmet's already been praising him. Caleb Williams already been praising him. Guys are really excited for this upcoming Sunday against Green Bay. You're going to see a different game plan. So we're excited to see what Thomas Brown has to bring to the table. But Shane Waldron had to be fired. Absolutely 100%. He lost the offense after week 1.
Now, just quickly, Thomas Brown from the Rams, right? He was with the Rams, or am I thinking of someone different?
He was so he was with the Rams from 2020 to 2023, and then 2022. He was their assistant head coach when they won the Super Bowl. Also was their running backs and tight ends coach. And then Carolina picked him up after 2022. He was their offensive coordinator for 1 year, and then he came to the Chicago Bears.
Now, in what way are you saying Thomas Brown is not a good guy?
Thomas Brown. No, I said Shane Waldron is not a good coach.
Thomas Brown. Right. But if this is going to work, is what I'm saying.
It's going to work. I mean, already the players are outspoken about him. They're happy that he got moved up into the position. Keenan Allen even said it himself. He's like, I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. DJ Moore, they asked him, they're like, how do you feel about Thomas Brown's offense? He had a huge smile on his face when he said, he's like, y'all are going to see on Sunday. So it seems like, it could have been a sarcastic smile, but it seems like a uplifting smile, to say the least. At least DJ Moore hasn't been smiling much this year, so it's a good place for him. But overall, you saw what he brought to Carolina. He had Bryce Young to work with and no one really else. But back in college, when he was Miami's offensive coordinator, the Miami of Florida, not Ohio, when he was their offensive coordinator for 3 years from 2016 to 2018, Miami had some pretty darn good offenses there, especially from a running back standpoint. And the Bears' rushing attack has not been good over the last 3 weeks. Hopefully we see DeAndre Swift and Rashawn Johnson bring it back. They also just brought Darrington Evans to the team. So hopefully Darrington Evans can help rip it up a little bit more. But excited to see a better offensive attack this upcoming Sunday.
Okay, now quickly that we got that out of the way, the big news: Nate Davis was waived. Is that right?
See you later,
what are we?
See you later, buddy.
What are we doing?
I
Thought he was getting traded.
I hate that move. They should have kept him.
Why do you hate that move?
I hate that move. I wish you guys still had him.
Why?
Start him.
He's horrible.
Because he's trash.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, I am. Everyone in Bears Nation is so happy. Don't let the door hit you behind you, buddy. Like, keep walking out. Fun fact, my mom's business is directly next to his house, her office. Like, literally, he bought the house, and they were like, hey, a Bears player's moving in. She got to meet Nate Davis, said he was a bum, and my mom texted me when he got fired, and she was like, the bum's gone. I was like, hell yeah, Mom. Love that. So all good news over here in Chicago. That guy got $17.5 million sitting on his ass, never practiced. Mike Vrabel even said it. Like, when he left, he was like, the guy never practiced or anything. So happy Chicago Bears fans getting rid of Nate Davis.
Man, that's tough, man. All right, he said it never practiced. Hey, Bass, man. So Jordan Love is healthy. You guys had a bye week. You guys got healthy. What's going on in the injury updates? What do we got going on?
Yeah, so you mentioned Jordan Love, and that's a big thing. I mean, this is the first time he's quote unquote off the injury report since injuring himself in week 1. So he was a full participant today. He's yet to have like a full week of practice, since before week 1. So that's huge, right? That goes into continuity, consistency with your wide receivers and whatnot, and just, alving a full game plan with, the number one offense through the whole week of practice. Outside of him, obviously, playing Detroit in week 9, we were without Jair Alexander, Evan Williams, and Josh Myers. All three affected that game. And Jair's back at practice today in limited fashion with his knee injury. He's been riddled with injuries the last 2 years. I think he's played like 50% of the games in the last 2 years, which is awful. The dude just can't stay on the field. Then Evan Williams. I think a lot of people would agree, Packers fans wise, that they're more excited to see Evan Williams come back than Jair just because of what he brings to this defense, which is crazy to say, considering we just drafted him in the 4th round this year, right? How much he already means to this defense and how it allows them to put their defense in certain personnel packages that I believe is a lot better. Outside of that, Josh Myers coming back. I think before the Lions game, a lot of us Packers fans were sitting here going, well, it might be okay if Josh Myers is out because it might be our best 5 on the O-line. And then we see like 3 fumbled exchanges against the Lions in the rain. So we're like, okay, Josh Myers, come on back. Let's come on back to center and let's get this snap at least down. So it's cool to see him back. Marshawn Lloyd also returning from IR. We already kind of have like a stacked running back room. We drafted Lloyd, of course, in the 3rd round. So interested to see what kind of snaps they give Lloyd. I doubt it'll be any, if at all, early on. I don't know. We'll see how that goes because they've already kind of been moving more of Chris Brooks into the lineup because he's a good pass protector, kind of taking away some of Emmanuel Wilson's snaps because Chris Brooks, again, better pass protector. So that's like 4 running backs on the roster that all capable. So I'm interested to see how they go that route. But it seems like we're finally going in the right direction in terms of health. I think the only player to not practice today on the entire roster was Colby Wooden, a depth defensive lineman. So the bye week came at a perfect time.
Okay, just quick up. I don't know if you saw. People were saying you're a little quiet. I don't know if they're right or not. You sound good to me, but my headphones might be loud. And I think Nick brought it up.
I could turn up the gain.
Okay. Well, as long as you can hear, while you're doing that, so just like Nick, you can get involved in this too, man. The NFC North, man, it's been a battle. Lions played Packers. It was a battle. There's a lot of off the field stuff that was going on there too. Just a lot of noise, at least on the social media side. And we already got noise between DJ Moore and Xavier McKinney that I saw. Like there's a little bit of back and forth. Yeah, there's a little bit of back and forth there. I guess DJ Moore. Nick, have you heard the story? Have you seen what's going on between you?
I neither heard it. I was literally looking for it when you said it earlier. I can't find it anywhere. It was on Twitter.
So, I saw it on Twitter first, and I clicked the link.
Stuff up, Dion.
No, I'm not making it up. And if I'm making it up, I'm making it up. I'm not trying to make it up. I saw that DJ Moore DJ Moore basically, kind of just like had like a quick little response for what the other teams did to add some help in the back end. And Xavier McKinney basically called cap on the fact that DJ Moore acted like he was hurt, you know what I'm saying, when he walked off the field on his teammate. I don't know if this is legit or not. This could be completely made up, but I did read it. So if I read online, it's true. Chat, it's true.
Anything
I read it
you read on the
online.
internet's true. So
100%. So we don't have to have a reaction to that because it may be false, but I read it, so I just assumed it was legit. But that could be completely wrong. I don't know.
I didn't see it. I don't think X has tweeted and since like I don't know. I haven't seen it. I did see someone post something about X, but it was just like this is a joke. So I don't know if maybe that's what you saw.
Okay,
Like,
well, maybe I did see a joke.
Yo, you're just stirring the pot, Dion.
I'm definitely stirring the pot.
Stir that thing.
Definitely stirring the pot.
Baby. Let's go.
That's why I brought it in here. Okay. Well, so real quick, I'll go through the Lions updates for my Lions fans in here, just real quick. So Derek Barnes.
Dion, by the way.
Well, look for the story. I think it's legit. Okay. Well, I mean, look, you can go to that real quick. Hold up. You're right. Says that apparently the teammates won Bajent. That is a legit story. I did see that on multiple
crazy.
sources.
Yeah,
what the heck's going on there, dude?
So it came out from ESPN 1000 and 670 The Score, and no one's actually come out and said this is legit or not. But apparently, the rumors is that Shane Waldron actually wasn't going to be fired this week. That is what we're hearing, that he was just going to go up into the box so he could just be separated from the players, which, all right, that makes absolutely no sense. Like, what's going on there? On top of that, too, so he was going to do that. And then the players, so the Bears have an offensive leadership unit of Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, and Mercedes Lewis. And apparently they walked into Ryan Pohl's office and demanded that Shane Waldron be fired. Like, that's what went down. Or in the situation, if you kept Waldron, then bench Caleb Williams, because the guys didn't want Caleb to get hurt anymore. Which, in my personal opinion, I was like, oh, but you're willing to get Tyson Bagent hurt? Like, that's not a very good look. But at the same time, that's the story that came out of Chicago. I have never, ever seen that it was proven legit or not, because it seems like from the vibe at Soldier Field. But apparently the guys, the story goes, if we're talking about stories, Dion, because, we got stories everywhere today.
I found it, by the way.
So we found it. Okay, so it is legit. Okay, so Dion's not making it up. But I haven't seen anything confirmed that he actually walked into the office, but that's the story that's going around, that they demanded that Tyson Bagent play it. But I've never seen anything since.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
So
Bass,
should I quote McKinney?
Yeah, go ahead.
So pretty much it was like the back and forth. They asked DJ Moore about, the Lions adding a couple cornerbacks, the Packers signing Xavier McKinney. Moore just pretty much said, that's nice, and that was it. But McKinney, after practice today, said, quote, after, I guess, being asked about DJ Moore, I don't know the exact exchange, but he said, this dude walked down on his quarterback. McKinney said of Moore, pointing out he's a Bears captain. Quote, I've been playing football for 5 years now, and I've been watching football for longer than that. I don't think I've ever seen anything ever like that before. And he's like, you're supposed to be the guy, and you're just walking off the field. You're walking off the field on a rookie quarterback that you've been praising, so it's like, that's a whole other story. And then, according to Moore, he walked to the bench because he injured his ankle, and McKinney just said cap. So I'm about it, man. X, I love the demeanor, man.
I mean,
he's not wrong. I feel like every week we talk about something DJ Moore said or did. Every single week for the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Really? Because
I feel like we have. I feel like we've
I
feel like we've talked about him in terms of what he said, and he's like, he when he was asked about his OC a couple weeks ago, and he's like, I'm not going to say no. Like he's always got something to say, man. Like I don't know. It just seems like he's not the best team captain, and I get that's why X said that.
Well, okay, so yeah, so on 670 The Score, after the Cardinals game, they called DJ Moore. And they were like, do you think the locker room is lost? And he says, I want to say no. That's all he said. Other than that, he's been answering calls for the media. He's been doing all stuff like that. So, yeah,
it's fair.
You're right there. But also, he did on the call, that's where he confirmed. He's like, yeah, I literally rolled my ankle. And if you watch the clip, you can literally see the bend, and he, limped off. And we talked about this last week, too. I just wish you would have stayed on the field to be a blocker at least, so take out a defender, because then you're double-teaming Cole Kmet. Yep. Yeah, DJ Moore does got a little bit of an attitude, but at the same time, he was pumped. What I really like to see was first play of the second half against the Patriots. Caleb Williams finally got it to DJ Moore. for like 18 yards, and the dude was absolutely pumped and fired up. And I was like, where is this energy all the time? Then Shane Waldron just did his thing, but he's fired. He's canned. See you later, buddy. So we're all good there.
Okay. Nick, I'm going to just do this for you just so we keep it moving, but just real quick, I want you to answer this question.
Ask everyone on the panel.
Well, I mean, if you guys want to, but I didn't want to make this too long. I was going to throw it to Nick. Yeah.
Well, my answer is
no. DJ Moore has been such a good community guy. He's been so good on the field. Last year with Justin Fields, like we got to see what he has. Like he's a talented player. He just had a really bad coordinator this year. Fun fact: the Bears are the only team in NFL history to have two. So their previous offensive coordinator and their current offensive coordinator fired within 10 months of each other. Thought that was a very interesting stat. Bears are just terrible at bringing in offensive coordinators. But no, my answer is DJ Moore.
St. Brown.
St. Brown.
Okay.
Done.
And then Dion thinks DJ Moore, so we got to split.
Of course. Right down the middle. All right, man. Hey, look, like I said, I'll give a quick Lions update. So Sam Laporta, right now, not sure if he's going to play or not this weekend. It sounds like it's day-to-day, but it's in play. And then Taylor Decker, we didn't have last week. He thought it was his fault for the Lions' first half. He put the blame on himself. But Taylor Decker, they're positive. They're thinking positive that he might be able to go against Jacksonville, which, as a Lions fan, knowing Jacksonville's defense, they did a pretty nice job on One Bar's Vikings. I would love to have him for this game, so hopefully that's the case. But the overarching big thing for me as a Lions fan, man, when we see all this, is Derek Barnes. He thinks he's going to get ahead of schedule. So I think what we're looking at potentially is both Barnes and Hutchinson back for the Super Bowl. I know that's what everybody's hoping for here. So with that, let's move into these last week's games because, look, we'll start with Bass, man. How was the bye week?
Good. Like I said, when we talked about look, like when we talked about these games last week, I don't think any of us predicted any of the NFC North teams to lose. So the fact that one did, sorry, Nick, that's a win. It was close for the other two. So yep. I think it shows their resilience and they find ways to win. Speaking of the Vikings and Lions, but it was still a lot closer for both teams than maybe it should have, considering what happened on the field. So we'll see, if that is maybe not a script, like something another team can look at the film from that game and how to say beat the Vikings, beat the Lions. But then again, we'll talk about the games, but. A ton of turnovers, ton of interceptions, yet they still win. So outside of that was a little irritating because it's like, damn, they were so close to losing to these awful teams. Well, I wouldn't say awful for Houston, but for Jacksonville, I definitely would. But yeah, that was bad. We'll talk about it. But yeah, it was all right bye week. I enjoyed it. I would say I enjoyed it overall.
That's good. And my guy in the chat, yes, Zadarius suspected to play this weekend, so I didn't throw that in there. All right, One Bar, man, I think we got to start with you, man, because this was a weird football game. But you guys did win this football game. And I think if you take out the fact that Darnold threw 3 interceptions, right, and they scored 12 points, which was like, what's going on here? They did play pretty darn good defensively. And to be honest, in that first half, I was like, hey, Mac Jones don't look too bad. Bass said what he said, so I'm like, I gotta go check it out. Mac Jones actually doing some work.
Then it went all downhill, bro.
Yeah, I think Bass jinxed it, bro. Hey, just absolutely atrocious. But it started off pretty solid. And the Vikings just found a way to keep making field goals and just find a way to win a game. Again, just like the Lions, it wasn't pretty, but you guys won. And defensively, man, y'all did get after it. Now, here's my concern. And One Bar, let me know if you have this. The offensive line looked a little bit shaky to me, but that was just from my initial watch. I don't know if that was a takeaway for you or not. And I thought for Sam Darnold, man, this offense has been like so willing to take shots, and I think it's straight to what Kevin O'Connell said, and I can respect that. Kevin O'Connell said they're not going to dial back with this guy. They're going to push the ball down the field. There's been some questionable decisions, but he's going to push it, and it puts you on edge as a defense all the time that they're going to take a shot play. So One Bar, what was your overall takeaways from this Vikings win?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the offensive line, they were actually pretty good. I mean, Darnold had enough time in the pocket. Were they great? No, but they were good enough where they should have scored more than 12 freaking points. I mean, give me a break. I saw the stat. I can't remember who put it out today. The Vikings were the first team to win a game with 3 turnovers and 0 touchdowns since 2006, which is absolutely crazy. The amount of games that have been played since then. I said it when we started. The Vikings gotta win, and in the NFC North, a win is a win, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Because we're still in second place, we're still 7-2, but it was frustrating. I don't get it. I mean, the Vikings continue to play down to their competition. I mean, we can score 34 points on the Texans. We can put up 31 against the Packers, 29 against the Lions. We scored 12 points against the Jaguars. Like 12 points against the Jaguars is like getting shut out in any other team. I mean, it's It's unbelievable. And it really was 4 field goals who also were made by a backup kicker who had never kicked a regular season field goal. So John Parker Romo, former Lion great, well done, sir, because he comes out, kicks a 45-yarder right down the gut for his first kick. And as Vikings fans and what we've seen from kickers over the years, you know what? That was not expected. So you know what? It was ugly. It was ugly ass win. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it by any means. The Vikings had the ball for 43 minutes. We had the ball for 43 minutes and we scored 12 points. Like, that's insane. I don't know what the record is for the time of possession in a game. I'd love to know it. But 43 minutes is absolutely crazy. Defense was fantastic. When I was watching this game, I was thinking of Nick. I'm like, this must be what it's like to watch the Bears play a game, because their defense is just saving you and your offense is doing absolutely nothing. And our defense getting turnover after turnover.
Yeah, but we crushed the Jaguars, one bar, unlike someone.
Well done. Well done. We'll talk about that Bears game. I was going to be nice to you, Nick. I was going to be nice to you, but I don't really
nice right there. You were being nice right there.
I'm just saying that the defense showed up. They won this game. Sam Darnold, 2 interceptions in the red zone. The last 2 games, he's had 5 interceptions. Every game before that, we've had 5 interceptions all year. He's got to figure it out, because the worst part, he's forcing it to Jefferson. It's 100% what he's doing. He's forcing it to 18, while Addison is wide open on damn near every play. Aaron Jones is wide open. I mean, this is a couple weeks in a row this is happening. This isn't just a fluke. So he's got to figure it out, man. Sam Darnold, he's got to shake those ghosts. We got the Titans coming up, which is nice. We'll talk about that in the preview show. But overall, I mean, there's nothing to get overly excited for in Vikings line, except we did get to win. The defense did show up big time. Those turnovers were huge. And it was crazy because the Jags actually had a chance to win at the end. But then Trevon Walker has that personal penalty and gives us 15 yards, and we can just kneel on it because we were about to punt the ball. So it was coming down to the end, and it is what it is. It was ugly. Sam Darnold, it's going to come down to Sam Darnold, clean him some stuff up and start looking somewhere other than 18 if he's going to actually start throwing the ball around, that it doesn't go to opposing teams' arms. So.
One of our last point here, man. I don't know if this is a Vikings fan or not, so maybe just be talking a little bit. But I did note, TJ Hockenson had one drive where he picked up like 3 first downs for you guys. I mean, what is your thoughts on TJ? He looked legit.
No, Hawkinson's been the first. He was back last week for the first time, and really he had limited snaps. Josh Oliver out-snapped him last week, but this week he came in and he was a first down machine. He's just getting started. He's going to be so big as far as how far the Vikings end up going, because on those 3rd and 4s, those 3rd and 7s, they are looking at TJ Hockenson, and he took a huge hit. I can't remember who hit him, but it looked bad. I'm like, shit, he just came back. He took this big hit, but he was right back out there. Hockenson was huge. He looks good.
Nick, how impressed were you by this Vikings win?
Okay, one bar. I know that you said I was not nice, but like I'm sitting there and I think it was 7-6 at halftime.
Good game. Good game.
And I'm looking over. I'm like, holy crap. What are they doing? Like, I was like, you know what? This Patriots game isn't so bad. Then it got worse. But then I look over. I'm like, God darn it. The Vikings won. And I was like, you know what? I'm happy for one bar. I'm happy that he beat. Trevor Lawrence didn't even play, right? It was Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, baby.
I will say, I just got to say something super quick. Dion and Baz were giving Mac Jones his love at the beginning. I never saw it. I didn't see
at the beginning.
That's got to be one of the worst damn quarter. I mean, he might start for the Bears, but
first drive, man.
Hey,
first drive, man. First drive. That's all.
Bad. He's bad. Lions are gonna have a field day.
Oh my God. Yeah. No. Overall, just I wasn't watching because I was watching the Bears game, obviously, but I'm looking over, and I'm like, I swear to God, if the Jaguars beat the Vikings, this week is going to be so much fun at Roundtable. And then I'm like, no. And then it starts getting close. I'm like, no. And then I saw the loss. I was like, God darn it. Like, man. But Mac Jones, terrible quarterback. That's my biggest takeaway from the game. Wow. And that's coming from me. And I've had some pretty darn bad quarterbacks. I've had Caleb Haney starting for me at one point. I'd rather have him over Mac Jones. So good job by the Vikings getting it done. I still wish that Who did you guys get that I really wanted from Alabama this past year? I already forgot his name.
Turner.
Who'd you guys draft?
Turner,
One bar.
right?
Turner.
Yeah. Was it Turner?
Dallas Turner.
Yeah, that's who I was like, gosh darn it. I really wish we had that guy. But Vikings defense looks legit. That's all I got.
I got to say one thing. Blake Cashman was finally back. What he does with this defense is insane because the last couple of weeks, the Vikings defenses look like Lions. We didn't have Cashman. We haven't had Cashman for about 3 weeks. And when he was out there, Florida, he is such that dude should be in asking for a raise right now. Such a game changer.
Man, I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about Cashman. Nick, it sounds like you guys are in the Mac Jones. You guys are looking for Mac Jones next year potentially. That's interesting. Bass, what'd you think about this one, man?
Yeah, I think he'd be a great quarterback for the Bears, man. He's got all the intangibles. But I believed in my man. I was talking about him last week, and I'm like, I was just, again, it sounded like a fan fiction, which it was because, the first drive, I'm like, all right, the Jags, moving the football with Mac Jones, you get a quarterback sneak. And then I, mistakenly put out a DM to you guys and said Mac Jones is doing good out there. And then ever since that point, I don't think he did a single thing. So I was watching this game at a bar and the TV had a weird blue hue to it. The TV got something thrown at it or something, and there was a post in the way. So I had to lean the left and the right to see a certain play happen. That encapsulated that game for me because it was just all around. I didn't feel like watching it, but I was also somewhat attracted to it. Just leaning around this pole, watching Mac Jones fumble a snap or throw an interception on that last drive. It was a nasty game. I believed in my boy Mac there, but I was impressed by their defense getting 3 turnovers, and I know you talked about Darnold already. Now Darnold actually leads the league in turnovers in terms of interceptions and fumbles. So that's an interesting thing. A lot of people are saying the midseason Sam Darnold coming alive. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about for the Vikings. The fact that the Jags get 3 picks on you, including Darnell Savage, that guy, I don't know how you give that guy an interception because he was never in the right place ever.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, it's true. Give him a little toss up. I get it, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, they got the win. So, finding ways to win in ugly, disgusting, garbage games, that's a good football team. So I got to give credit to the Vikings for just still finding a win with 3 interceptions. I got to. What are you laughing about?
Just disgusting garbage, but
it was.
It was. There's no
it's just how you were delivering it. It was so
horrible.
Subtly hitting disgusting garbage.
It was.
They
It
got
was.
the win.
It really was.
Baz, I'm not ripping on you.
Hey, the TV right next to that one was the Bears Patriots game, so it was double whammy.
Hey, if I was at the bar with you, I would have been drunk at halftime. I would have been whacked out at halftime. I do not drink during Bears games because I know if I do, it's just gonna be bad.
You'd be gone. You'd be gone.
Brother, I'd be gone after 5 minutes into the game. Anyway.
Nick, man, we'll move over to look. I'll be honest, man. This is my initial takeaway of your guys' game, man. Watching NFL Red Zone. That's what you got to do when your team's not playing. I don't think you guys showed up one time in that game, to be honest. That just never showed up.
Okay,
no, to be honest, maybe I was going to the bathroom when it popped up, and it's they're taking
our defense showed up. Our defense.
Not on NFL Red Zone. No, I'm not saying the Bears did. The NFL Red Zone just
bathroom, was Dion, because man, they showed up the whole time you were dropping a log, man. That's all I gotta say. No, here we go. No, okay, so. I wonder if the chat knows what we're talking about.
Hey, it's news to me, man.
Wait, Baz, who was it again?
It was James Houston. I think the guy pooped
leave
himself.
James alone, bro.
He got rid of his
stomach. Sat on Gatorade. No. Dion, did you have anything else? I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, I was hey, man, we're going right to you for the game, man. 19-3. I'll give my quick take on it. 19-3. So you guys fire your offense coordinator. The weird, it just feels like, and I don't know what the stats were on this one. You may have them, but the Bears on 3rd down just look so messy. That's what it looks like. All that. It just 1 of 14. Okay, I didn't know it was that bad.
Holy.
Now, in fairness, you did pick up the 4th down once you went for it afterwards on the one missed throw. So that was, that happened. But it's almost like you guys kind of have something going. I thought Swift ran, pretty well at times in this game. And then defensively, you guys are obviously fantastic. And I thought Edwards did some good things in this one. I thought the Patriots just made some big-time plays, good play calling. That's how they kind of pulled apart in this one. That touchdown before half was an excellent drive by New England. But to be honest, man, like offensively, it's just you guys don't seem to have great answers for Caleb. He seems like he's not sure where to go with the football. And then it feels like everything has to get to the sticks. As just an outside viewer, what's your take on that? And then to take on this entire game.
All right, here we go. First of all, I have to say good riddance, Shane Waldron. Like I don't wish bad on anybody, but this guy was such a cancer to this offensive game plan. Nice guy, according to everybody, but just a bad coach. Got canned by Seattle. Now I can see what Jackson Smith or whoever over in Seattle. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name. Njigba. He literally said on Radio Row this year, "Good luck to Bears."
I saw that. He couldn't come up with an answer. He was just like, "Am I live?"
Here is what's crazy about this is how wild of a roller coaster Shane Waldron is. Okay, he's the first Bears offensive coordinator to not have any offensive touchdowns in back-to-back games since 2004. That's bad right there. On top of it, too, he is the first Bears offensive coordinator to help our rookie quarterback get more than 300 yards in 2 games in a season for the Chicago Bears. So he broke a record that's been there, but then he broke another terrible record that he should never have done. He also had back-to-back 35-plus point games on offense, first time for the Bears in 63 years earlier in the season against Carolina and then Jacksonville. So Shane Waldron, we were like, maybe he is the answer. Maybe he's the guy after Jacksonville. He could have been the guy for the Vikings against Jacksonville. Apparently, that's the only team that he can do. But he left his brain. He left his playbook in London. That guy is absolutely gone. Like you said, there was big plays, but then the offensive line looked completely out of sync, had no idea what they were doing, and there was no connection between the offensive line coach, Chris Morgan, and Shane Waldron. That was a big problem there. And that was, I said this earlier, in the offseason when we hired Shane Waldron, the one worry that I had is he kept one offensive coach from last scheme, and that was Chris Morgan, our offensive line coach. And Chris Morgan was a good offensive line coach with the Steelers, good with the Atlanta Falcons, and he comes to Chicago. The team was progressing on the offensive line last year when the Bears went 5-3 in their last 8 games, and then they just looked completely lost out there. There was no connection, and that's why I'm so happy about Thomas Brown, is because Thomas Brown actually worked with Chris Morgan when I went to camp a few times, those two were always talking. So I'm hoping to see that there's somewhat of a change, and that the game was just bad. When our Carlos Santos is our only offense over the last couple of weeks, it's not good stuff. But the defense did show up. TJ Edwards with 12 tackles. He absolutely owned it. That guy is so underpaid, 3-year, $20 million contract. He still has another year left on it. He's getting annoyed. And he expressed his frustration. I had a couple media guys on the show earlier this week, and all of them said TJ Edwards was fed up, is one of the outspoken defensive guys with Jalen Johnson that is fed up with the offense. Because the defense is actually starting to put pressure on the offense. They're like, we're getting sick and tired of always having to hold the game. And Jalen Johnson actually came out and said, during my career with the Bears, I'm more used to us having to win the game versus the offense. And I was like, that is exactly what you need from one of your leaders on the defense, calling out the offense. You got to hold guys accountable. During this game, though, the defense did what they had to do. They kept New England to 1 touchdown, the rest field goals, and I believe they did get a safety. I was just so over the game. Also, F the NFL, they gave me a copyright flag, and I can't live stream this upcoming Sunday's game. So I'm a little sad by that.
Damn.
Yeah, because right here it shows the game because my TV's right there. Oh. So I was pretty upset with the NFL there.
That happens to me. Oh, geez.
Yeah, Baz, we can talk about that on the side because I'm sure the viewers don't really care about us. They just care about the game. But here's the thing is that Matt Eberflus is meant to be a defensive coordinator. That is what his highest level of being a coach in the NFL will ever be, as a defensive coordinator. And to me, personally, if he would just swallow his pride, still get his $8 million a year that the Bears are paying him, just be the defensive coordinator with Eric Washington and let someone else take over head coaching duties, I think things would be a lot better in Chicago. But Matt Eberflus is on such thin ice right now, and he's trying to save any ounce of, he's gone after this year, 99% positive. But he's trying to save his job. He's going to let Thomas Brown take over. And I really hope the Bears fire Matt Eberflus, even though he has 2 years on his contract after this year. Anyway, don't have to get in that. We'll talk about the game. DeAndre Swift, though, he did come out. He did the best that he could. He had a lot of angry runs, which I love to see. Rashawn Johnson got the job done on those 2 fourth downs you were talking about, Dion. But we were better on 4th down. We had a 50% 4th down conversion versus our 1 in 14 on 3rd down. Absolutely ridiculous. Didn't even get more than 5 yards of play on offense. The interception by TJ Edwards, obviously that got everyone pumped up. And Soldier Field at halftime was screaming fire Flus. And that's a message to ownership. The McCaskies have to sell the team. I know Baz is just shaking his head because he's like, man, I love being a Packers fan right now. It's
I
not
feel
fun to
kind of bad.
I mean,
bad.
see, that's the thing is that like Packers fans have been like saying like we feel so bad for these guys because Bears fans are like we're finally excited. They have a good roster. They just can't do anything with it. The other thing that I got to say about this is that Ryan Poles has failed this team in the trenches. He's had drafted 6 offensive linemen. 2 of them aren't even on the team anymore. He's only been the GM for 2.5 years. So he's definitely under fire too. And he's a former offensive lineman himself. There's no depth on the defensive line. Montez Sweat's going to play hurt the rest of the year. I hope Montez Sweat doesn't even play this weekend, to be honest with you, because Darrell Taylor is back. But, man, this Bears team, great secondary, great linebackers, great wide receivers, really great everywhere minus the trenches. Caleb Williams still, and you got to give Caleb Williams this. He is still the 3rd leading offensive rookie passing quarterback with almost 1,800 passing yards with Shane Waldron as coordinator. So if you give him someone good to call good plays and give him an offensive line, Caleb Williams can be great. Finally want to say this because I know people are in the chat right now. I see Slow Pitch Mitch. I see Santana. I see Relentless Mike. I see You're Right. Guys, you guys are probably going to pound the table with this too, but George McCaskey has to sell the team. He has to sell the team. He's even said himself he's a fan, but he's afraid of an alpha. That's his problem. That's why we didn't get a guy like Dan Quinn when we had the opportunity. That's why we haven't gotten any good coaches. We've only hired these beta head coaches that have no confidence, can't lead a team on the field. Our coordinators have more confidence. I miss Vic Fangio so much. I would rather have him as a head coach, even though he was a disaster in Denver. But overall, guys, like it was a bad game. You can't put a dress on a pig. It's still a pig at the end of the day. Terrible game by the Chicago Bears. They need to go. They need to make some big changes this upcoming year, and these Zins are really starting to hit right now because I'm cooking my team right now. But overall, I feel good with the changes that they made. I'm happy that Poles ended up getting rid of Nate Davis. He was toxic to this team. Never practiced. See you later, dude. And one more thing I want to put out there, if my cousin's watching, I'm not going to say his name, but his roommate is currently seeing Matt Eberflus's daughter, and apparently she doesn't like me very much because I rip on her dad so much. So if you're watching, your dad sucks at his job.
What is going on in Chicago, man?
Yeah.
It's a small world. Big city, small world.
Okay.
Nick, I was gonna say this, man. Just a little love real quick. I've been there. One of my first memories of the Lions game. After the game, fire Schwartz. I can remember it walking out, man.
Ooh.
So I've been there. I know the feeling. Bass, man. What'd you think?
I mean, Nick just said a lot of it, man. Nick just,
I wanted to say it all because I want you guys just to be like, "Yep, that's it."
Yeah, I mean, this is a quick turnaround from like 4 weeks ago. I'll say that. I mean, the Bears were win against some, we'll call them bad teams, but they were putting it together on offense, and Caleb Williams really starting to put it together. The one thing I'll say is, you see him miss some throws. You see a lot of the receivers have drops. I don't know how many drops they had in this game, but I saw a really bad one from Odunze. I think there's a couple more drops, but the one thing I'll say is with this offense, why it looks so atrocious, not only because of blocking, but a lot of people point at the fact that, sometimes Caleb Williams is kind of just sitting there in the pocket. It's like sitting. But I don't think the offense was timed correctly. If you watch like some of the All-22 and on his 3-step drop, you still have routes not breaking yet, like a deep out for DJ Moore. It's like after Caleb's drop, he runs 3 more yards, then breaks. So like that screws up timing. So again, that might be a testament to how poorly Waldron drew up some concepts, drew up some plays. I feel like there wasn't any crazy route concepts at all. And this is why I wanted actually the Bears to win this game. That's crazy for me saying so, because I wanted Shane Waldron to be your OC against the Packers, because I think Jeff Hafley would have went into this and knew exactly what to expect. Like there would have been no surprises. Now it's kind of like, well, what are they going to run? You know what I mean? I think he's going to take a look at Carolina last year, and that's what they're game planning on right now, partly. But yeah, man, I got to give credit to the Patriots. I mean, I my prediction said I don't like anything about them, and they went and scored 19 against a very good defense. I thought Drake May had a pretty good game. It's nothing crazy, like 184, touchdown, a pick, 79.4. They had a really nice, impressive drive right before half. I think it was a touchdown to Jalen Polk. That was a nice throw. They held the Bears somewhat in check in terms of running. You said DeAndre Swift had a couple, tough runs, but, overall the Bears ran 3.7 yards per carry, and I feel like that's the recipe to defeat the Bears. If you just kind of stop their run game, I feel like they kind of get halted, and if you make it third and long, it's, as you see, they're 1 of 14 on third.
Hey,
so.
Baz, can I jump in real quick on
Of course,
that? 'Cause you made a really good point. Is that so? Keenan Allen actually had a good bounce back game. He didn't have any drops. So I was happy to see that. Like, our wide receivers were actually doing the job. Caleb Williams also, the overthrows, man. They are just killing this team. Caleb Williams has 31 overthrows this year so far.
I saw a stat. I think it was something like 15 plus yards. He's like one of the worst statistical quarterbacks since I forget what year it was, but it was a long time ago. So there's something with continuity with the deep ball right now with that offense and Caleb Williams. So I don't know, man. It's I like watching it, but I do somewhat. I do actually somewhat feel bad.
And I just have to tell Relentless Mike real quick. I am not under the influence right now, but I definitely do have a nice buzz going. So,
what does that even mean?
but it's not anything illegal.
That's good.
Sorry,
Yeah, you're good. I don't have much more to say about this game.
Yeah, there's
honestly,
nothing much to say about the game.
I was rewatching the highlights and whatnot. You guys were booing your team in the second quarter down by 7 points. That says a lot in your own stadium.
Done.
That says a lot. And I'll just finish up on this. Again, I'm going to say it every week because it's just funny. Caleb said Torrey Taylor's not going to punt much. Torrey Taylor has more punting yards than Caleb has passing yards. End of story.
And I knew you were going to say that.
I was. That's where I'm at. So I might feel bad, but I'm still going to rip into you a couple times. It's just this.
Did we
Packers
leave
fans, man.
Did we leave anything for you, One Bar?
You know what? It's probably better. Like, it's like. I don't even know where to start. Like, Nick, I love you, man. I watch your show. I watch your post games. You just lay it all out there. It's not like you sugarcoat things a little bit, but you have to. You have to on your show. But it's like, this is like the Browns putting brown bags on their heads. This is like the Lions in the 2000s with their bags on their head. It's like, it's actually very tough to watch. And like Baz said, like at this point, it's almost like we're just watching a shit show. You feel bad for it. And the good thing is, the positive thing is that Bears actually made a change, which was big. I'm actually surprised they still have their same head coach, but they made at least one change. We'll see what happens. If I'm a Bears fan, I don't have all the hope in the world for the former Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator, but who knows? A change is a change, and that's good. But like my big thing, like with the Bears, I put my mindset into a Bears fan. It's like, all I'm worried about right now, this season's done. This season is fried. All I'm worried about is the future. Like, get Caleb Williams going. Figure out who's the future of this team moving forward. Keenan Allen, great. I'm glad he's having a great year. He ain't the future of this team. Get Cole Kmet going. Get DJ Moore happy. Get your running game going. That's where the Bears are at this point, is just like looking towards the future, getting Caleb Williams on track, because these look like an absolute disaster. And maybe that's on the offensive coordinator the last couple of weeks. Maybe it's on him. Maybe it's a little both. But like, they just got to figure things out for the future, because they do have some pieces. The biggest thing that Nick, you didn't mention much, is like, at some point you have to look at Ryan Poles and be like, dude, you know what? How many coaches have you fired? How many guys have we gotten rid of? How many guys have not panned out? They got a good defense, but like, at some point you have to look at Ryan Poles. He came in and said, he's going to take the North. The only thing he's taken are losses after losses after losses. So Ryan Poles, you ain't taking jack shit, buddy, until you prove it. So get an offensive line, protect your rookie quarterback. Until you do that, shut up or you're going to be fired.
You said he played O-line?
I'm actually fired up about this, because I hope the Bears beat the Packers.
He should suit up. He should suit up.
No, yeah, no.
He would probably be the
he's
best
too much
offensive
Ozempic
lineman
right now, man. He's skinny now. He's
gosh.
a slim tight end.
Ryan Poles needs to be mentioned in the conversation with Flus and their offensive coordinator.
So it's funny, One Bar. Actually, everyone that's watching, I just released a video about it literally right before we came on, about Ryan Poles and what he's done wrong. He's had definitely more losses than wins. His wins have been big, though. Obviously, trading that with Carolina was his biggest win of them all. But yeah, Ryan Poles needs to be held accountable for this. And I'm a big Poles fan. I think that he did the right thing building this thing from the ground up. But the one thing he missed on was the trenches. And Dion, I look over at you. And One Bar, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're raising such a good point that I wanted to hit on, is that the Lions built from the trenches out. The Bears built from everything out in, and that's the complete wrong way to do it. When Tevin Jenkins is always hurt, you draft an injured Karan Amagaji this past year. And again, you only draft 6 linemen. 2 of them aren't even on the roster anymore. And out of your 6 linemen you drafted, 5 of them were after the 3rd round. It's ridiculous. Sorry, one bar. You were cooking.
I was going on a rant. I was acting like I was a Bears fan there for a second. I was getting riled up, but all I'm saying is, like, I hope this change at least lights a fire where the Packers Bears game is actually interesting to watch. That would be kind of a miracle at this point, but it is in an NFC North divisional game, so anything can happen. But like, they had to do something. I'm just glad they did something. But for me, I mean, the Vikings have the Bears in a couple weeks, and I'm not going to go into that game lightly. I mean, we just barely beat the Jags. I can't talk too much crap, but it'll be a game. It'll be a game with that defense. They'll be in every game.
Nick, just real quick to this point, is there anything Matt could do to save his job? I know you guys got a really tough upcoming schedule. Is there anything he could do, or is it over?
He would have to win every single game. He would have to make the playoffs. The offense would have to go. No. And then this is also what I wanted to say is that the Bears have already indicated that he's gone. By this, and he went up on the podium today and he was like, you know what? The offensive coordinator, that's on me. Everything is on me. We need more creativity. This is his 3rd offensive coordinator in 2.5 seasons. Like, that's not good. But he's gone. And the biggest indicator was that Poles was not aggressive at the deadline. And he has been aggressive both years that he's been in it. He sold off his running back. That's in Khalil Herbert, which I'm happy he did, because shout out to Herbert. Like, love that guy. He was terrible situation that Poles put him in. But Poles definitely needs... I mean, Poles' job isn't even safe right now either. He's on a hot seat too. But we'll see. And what worries me is that if you get rid of Poles, they're going to sell off this team again. And this is a good team to have right now.
Nick, I asked that because I had heard that Ryan Poles was like, hey, we're bringing Matt Eberflus back. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I asked that, would it take Poles being fired for this thing to reset? Because could he just bring him back?
You know, Kevin Warren... Definitely. So Kevin Warren has been a little bit more active, according to reports. And I think that because Eberflus is not Warren's coach. And Warren definitely is fed up with this team. You can just see in his body language in the box. This past week, Bears fans were taking videos of him. He had his arms crossed. He looked pissed off. The McCaskies just looked confused and were wherever they were in the stadium. Probably weren't even there, actually. But, this team has too much talent right now to be in the position that they're in. But we've been talking about the Bears for quite a while. So if you guys have any more questions, throw them at me. But we still have a Detroit Lions game to talk about. That was very impressive.
That's a good transition. We'll move to it, man. Lions win 26-23. Second most ridiculous game. The Titans probably took the cake, but this one was insane. I mean, obviously all the numbers, it was historic to have 5 interceptions and win this football game. But for me, I always like to talk about sugarcoating one bar. I always like to take the positive approach. And my positive take on this was the defense, man. It was the defense. I mean, look, the Texans did absolutely nothing in the second half. And as a Lions fan, I've seen this before. I've seen us throw 4 interceptions or something. And whenever we would win a game, we'd have like these ridiculous stats where it's like, man, Lions first team, 5 interceptions, and they won. And it was like, wow. And Stafford would have like 400 yards passing and 4 interceptions. But the difference in this one is the Lions never got to that mode. It never played like a game in the past where we would just throw for a ton of yards and we'd kind of like work our way back with Calvin Johnson. It was like, we're still not really a drop back passing offense right now. We're still going to run the football. And defense, we just kept putting it in your hands, like keep getting us off the field. And they just over and over kept getting us back on the field. And it was incredible for them to just kind of find a way to stand up, because in the first half, while it was good, they were put in some tough spots offensively. And they did give up that touchdown before half, which was super deflating. And immediately come out, have an adjustment, shift your coverage, get a pick to start things off. We had a really bad throw by Stroud in the end zone, which was also picked, so we took advantage of the opportunity. This defense, statistically now, maybe the best pass defense in football. All the numbers would argue that they are at this point during the season, and I think right now they're playing on a string well together. So that's my really optimistic take and the positive side of things. Obviously, the offense was, I don't know what that was. I really give it credit to Houston, though. I mean, Houston was playing lights out in the front set. They were flying around. They were stopping the run. They were making that difficult. We tried to take advantage of some opportunities of what they would give us. And I think they weren't bad opportunities. We just didn't connect for whatever reason. We had the weird fumble interception. We had a shot play that we just kind of missed Jameson over top. So I thought our plan was fine going into it offensively, and we had just enough wrinkles in the second half to find a way. Just enough to find a way in the second half and to just kind of find some like easing of like slow down this front seven. So we did just enough in the second half here, and I think that's what it was about. It's kind of like what One Bar said, just you have to win in the NFC North. And for us Lions fans, this was like the most ridiculous way to win a football game, but it's almost like how Chiefs fans are looking at it. Hey, we just keep finding ways to win. I look at this though in higher regard because I thought Houston was a super well coached team. They were a tough defense, so I expected it to be rough. And to have 5 picks and find a way, it was amazing. So 8-1, One Bar. What'd you think?
I just love. I mean, Darnold goes out and throws 3 interceptions, and Goff says, "Screw it, I'm going to throw 5, man. I'm going to make you look good this week." So I appreciated that from him. I mean, deep down as a Vikings fan, I mean, we're second place. We're 1 game away. I was just like, you got to be kidding me. They're really going to win this game. They're going to win this game. I mean, the biggest thing I took out of it is the Lions really haven't been in a situation this year where they're like down. And they gotta come back and do their thing, and they did it. Like. So they're usually just smoking everybody, and they said we're just going to come back and win this game. Dion, there's no way you weren't crapping your pants when Bates was kicking those field goals. I mean, I mean,
oh my
both
gosh.
of those last ones were like they must have had yellow paint on those footballs. It made it very, very interesting. So, but just Gibbs. Dude, that big playability with Gibbs. I mean, he is so freaking fast. We got the Lions the last game of the season, and we'll see if that actually means anything for the Lions or the Vikings. But like he scares the living crap out of me every time he has the ball in his hands. I know he ended up like his average is like 3.3, whatever it is, yards to carry. But when he gets his ball in hands on the outside, like he can take it to the house any damn time. So yeah, hats off for their defense. They played their asses off, and hats off for them actually coming back. Which they really haven't had to do this year. The Lions, they're in my mind, I've said it all along, NFC favorites, but they are beatable. The Lions are beatable. The Texans just couldn't take it home. So, hey, well done. Win's a win.
Well, in the words of Xavier McKinney, that's cap. However, I will say this, though, One Bar. I did get spoiled on that last field goal, man, because I was watching on my phone, so I was in my car. It was a mess. But I was in my car for that last field goal, and Bleacher Report, boom, Lions win 26-23. So I was like, oh, okay, we won. And then I see it. I'm very glad I did, man, because, dude, that thing was insane. I'm watching it live. Like, did he make it? Like, it was so tight. So I was spoiled on the last field goal. Nick, let me escape Nick. Let me go to Bass. Nick's texting someone. He's texting Eberflus. Bass, I'll go to you, Baz, what'd you think about this one?
I didn't know what to make of this game. Like trying to look at it like non-biased, it was a great game in terms of like a fan's perspective to see all these turnovers, to see all these great plays as well. I mean, the way I look at it is if I was playing Madden, you throw like 5 interceptions but still win the game. Like that shit only happens in Madden. So for it to happen in a real NFL game, and I feel like Jared Goff was like, hey, these last 5 weeks super efficient. I got to get the numbers back up. I got to get them back up to be with everyone else in the league because too many people are chanting my name, screaming MVP. Got to get them back up, right? So now he's about the same with Love and Darnold and all the others, right? I didn't expect to go through an NFC North week with 8 interceptions thrown by NFC quarterbacks, and Love's on a bye, and Caleb Williams throws 0. You would have never, if you said that to me.
Oh yeah, baby, let's go.
Small victories, Nick. Small victories.
Good job, Caleb.
Go.
Yeah, man. Resilience by this Detroit football team. I think they did a great job stopping the run. I think when you look at the Texans, I mean, Joe Mixon's having a terrific year, and he did have a really nice catch that I think he took for, I think it was like 36 yards or something. But you guys held him 25 carries to 46 yards, 1.8 average. I mean, that's abysmal. The team as overall ran 2 yards per carry. You guys got 2 interceptions on Stroud, 4 sacks. I thought the Texans did a good job pressuring Goff, although they didn't get any sacks. I feel like that was kind of the reason why he had some turnovers there. But man, the Texans, they had every chance to put this game away. Like out of half, I think they were up. What were they up? I think they're up like
23-7.
Yeah, so whatever that is. Yeah, so they 16. 16. Quick math, math's hard. they had chances to go up 23, like right out of half. They got the ball first, and it was funny because I was watching the game, and it was they're replaying the interview of Dan Campbell, and he's speaking like one play at a time. Then Carlton Davis gets like a diving interception. I'm like, that was like timed perfectly. So that and then I think they got another interception on golf right after that.
Yeah,
So the Texans had like 2 chances to go up 23 points and still didn't do it. And I don't know what kind of like voodoo doll Dan Campbell's got of some of these opposing teams, because I watched a Texans lineman literally strip sack CJ Stroud on a 3rd down. I don't know if you remember that play.
Yeah, he took it from him.
Dude, I have never seen something like that. And then to follow that up with 2 field goals that could have kissed the uprights, I'm like, all right, they were going to win no matter what. Like, that's what was going to happen. Definitely. So it didn't matter what happened all before this. 5 interceptions. I don't care. But at the end of the day, like, bias aside, they're finding ways to win regardless. Like one bar said, usually most of the time this season they're up big, and it's kind of like, okay, can the other team come back in the game? Well, they were down in this one, and they still came back and win. And I don't know where you guys are finding these kickers. I didn't know John Parker Roma was on the Lions at one point. Bates, I remember when you guys signed him, we were actually bringing him in for a workout. Yep. So that sucks. That sucks as well. So, I mean, hey, it seems like we found someone with McManus, at least for the time being. But I don't know where you guys are finding these kickers, because I'm watching all around the league, and I'm like, why is it so easy for all these teams to find these kickers? I think even the Bears. Who's your guys' kicker?
Cairo Santos, baby.
Yeah, and he's made like a ton straight too. I'm like, man, usually it's the other way around. Like with these NFC North teams that can't kick the football.
I'm not happy about that, by the way. Like I'm happy about it, but like I'd rather have touchdowns, Baz.
and Dion, I'd like to, again, I'm not the one to just point the fingers at refs or anything. But what do you think of that 3rd down play with Terran Arnold?
The Terran Arnold one.
Yeah.
So my take, based on how I understand the rule, should have been defensive pass interference.
Yeah.
Even though he deflected it because it happened before. However, I didn't know my man, had to go potty, so I didn't know this was a situation. But I do think that they also missed a call on my guy rushing the passer on that play. So if you watch the left tackle back, I thought they were holding his face mask because dude was like this, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a move or not, but he just kind of stopped. So I was like, I think they're holding dude's face mask. Can't really zoom in far enough. I think so I was like, okay, as a Lions fan, I see that. I'm like, hey. Y'all had it coming, man. You also were grabbing our guy. That pass wouldn't have happened. So that's my take. Should have been DPI, though, by the rule.
Fair enough. Well, that's all I have for the game. But, yeah, you guys finding ways to win. It's impressive. As much as I was, like, obviously rooting for the Texans, watching this game go on, I'm like, there we go. But, hey, good game overall by the Lions.
Nick, what do you think, man?
Potty. He said potty.
Potty.
You
love the potty comment.
Crap his pants.
Yeah, James Houston definitely went potty.
It's what Dion was doing during the Bears game. He was going potty. So first of all, gotta apologize. I was on my phone. I'm about to hit 20,000 subscribers, so like I'm kind of watching.
Nice,
like,
well done.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're close. We're less than 200 away. I was excited because I got the notification, so I was pretty excited about that. But going to this at half, I was like, "Holy crap! The Texans are gonna win this thing!" And I was like, "Oh, I won't be the only one to lose in the NFC North." And then I'm watching. I'm like, "All right, Goss got a couple interceptions," and I'm like, crap!" And I'm like, you know what? That's just how it is for me. I shut off my TV. I just kind of threw my remote to the couch, and I was like, I'm going to bed. No, but here's what I got to say. Besides guys going to the bathroom on the field, I think the Lions always find a way to get the job done. Like seriously, they just find a way. Shout out to Dan Campbell, man. Like that post game speech was electric. I was like, wow. I would be pumped up, and the fact that he like is just happy. He's like, a win's a win kind of deal, but he gets the job done. The Houston Texans, I know Relentless Mike said it in the chat, icy jerseys, but not icy enough to win this ball game, clearly. It made me kind of feel better about playing the Lions coming up here because I was like, oh, the Lions did come back to earth for a minute, for a half. So they are human beings on the field. But good game in the second half to come back from that deficit in Houston on top of it. In primetime, that's pretty darn impressive. That's a tough place to play in primetime, I would know. But man, not much more to say. You guys have kind of already hit the nail on the head, but another win by the Detroit Lions, and they're looking pretty legit, Dion. I want to be in your position sooner than later, man. I'm very jealous of you, but shout out to the Lions for getting the dub.
Appreciate you, Nick. All right, with that, let's move over real quick. One more shout out to BetUS, man. YouTube 150. That's the promo code. You can get 150% deposit match on your first deposit, while 125% on your next two, up to $2,000. Just a quick go over here. I think we did this last show too, but just a couple of games that stand out. Just want to get quick thoughts on everybody across here who you like early in this one. We got Philly, Washington, Thursday night football. Philly's at home. Like this is the this is a battle for a top seed. Bass, I know one bar. Nick, I don't know, but us two, we're focused on this. This could have a lot of implications on the playoff picture, man. Who do you guys like early? Bass, let's start with you.
I'm just gonna take Washington because I hate Philly, so that's just plain and simple.
Oh, dang.
Don't even care. Yeah.
Nick, what do you think, man?
I'm not gonna lie. I just can't stand Washington. I gotta go with Philly just because of what happened to us. Like every time I think of the Commanders, I'm like, you took the life out of the Bears. So I'm going with the Eagles on this one.
One more.
Yeah, I think it'll be close, but with the 3.5, I'll go Eagles. I absolutely hate the Eagles, but it's going to be a close-ass game.
Okay, I'm with you, man. I'm going with the Eagles, too. I think the Eagles are going to be tough when we get to the playoffs. All right, man. Again, YouTube 150, that is the code to get that 150% deposit match on your first deposit, 125% your next two, up to $2,000. I guess we'll just move it around, man. Make sure you guys tune in because Friday, as you all know, we're going to be dropping our preview video. We have a divisional matchup this week, so that one's going to be that one should be exciting, to be honest. I think that's going to be a good game. Last words, we'll go around here. Bass, let's start with you.
Yeah, you just said it. Bears week, which is crazy. It took this long for this. I don't know the last time we played you guys this late to start to see, our first time we played you. And I think the Steelers as well don't have a divisional game until this week. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Bears Packers should always play within the first 6 weeks. So I'm happy it's finally Bears week. It should be a good one.
Nick.
Yeah, Bass said it well. We're going to go over it in Friday's episode, but it's an exciting. I mean, even though the Bears are where they are and what they've done over the last couple of weeks, it's always an exciting game. It's at home, so hopefully the Bears can turn things around. New offensive coordinator, no more Nate Davis. Vibes are high over in Chicago. I'm excited for this weekend.
One bar. I was trying to remember who you guys play. Who do you guys play this weekend? I had it on my notes somewhere. Oh, Tennessee.
We play the Titans, and you know what? Let's do the Titans what we should have done to the Jaguars and just blow them out of the water. But I got to be honest. I'm looking forward to that Packers-Bears game. I know how much Packers and Bears fans hate each other. I hope it's close. I'm going to be watching that thing just having a blast. But you know what, Nick? I love you, man, but it's probably going to be a blowout. But go Vikings, baby. Beat the hell out of the Titans.
NFL, man, can we please start spacing these out a little bit? The 1 o'clock starts across the board are not great, especially when we got this kind of visual matchup, man. I'd love to see that. All right, man, we appreciate y'all joining chat. You guys showed up, man. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys on Friday. Tune into our preview stream, and I guess we're out.